Okay, good. Um, so I've sent actually a syllabus for you guys, to just to go through it. And if you have any questions, let me know. Okay. Let's go quickly since we have only 1 hour. Okay. So if you guys don't have syllabus, don't worry. Okay. Moving forward, everyone will be having syllabus will be okay. So that's what I'm saying. Like if you don't have syllabus, don't worry. If you want right away or something like that by today, okay, I can send you. Send me an email to manu@itamerica.com. So I'll be sending you that. Okay. Otherwise, it's okay. You'll be getting syllabus in 1 point. Okay, we have 2 weeks, so so don't worry about it. Okay, so just concentrate like what you are actually will be working. So that is more important. Okay, so let's see. First two classes is kind of introduction. I mean, not exactly. I mean, this is also a part of our QA. So this will be like I'll be explaining various types of testing. Okay, here you see this various types of testing. This will take at least 2 classes. And tomorrow, make sure you guys don't miss tomorrow's class, because tomorrow class is what I'll be showing you how to open defects. See, that's more important. So as a QA, tester or software tester or QA analyst or QA engineer, whatever position may be, ETL tester, ETL analyst, data analyst, whatever, I don't care. Whatever your job doing, you need to make sure what you are doing. Okay, so tomorrow's class will be important, so make sure you don't miss tomorrow's class. Okay, so I'll be showing you okay how to open defects. Okay, so today we'll just go through this various types of testing, since it's the first class and just want to uh, get used to it. Okay, because first class you might not understand everything at a sudden, right? So we'll just get used to it first two classes. And okay, so this is second class. We'll go through this this website, and we'll make sure you open a defect. I'll give you homework, so make sure you guys do the homework. Okay, so homework is most critical part of my lecture, because what, that shows your interest. Okay, that shows how how much you are interested in doing like work. Okay, because at the end of the day, okay, whatever it is, you will be working at some place. That's all. Everything is fine, but it shows the interest, like how much you are dedicated to your work. Okay, make sure you do the homework. Okay, and third and fourth class, I'll be taking a I'll be giving you explaining you about the Rally tool. So Rally is a test management tool in agile environment. Okay, so it's an agile. So see, everyone are moving to agile. So I hope everyone is familiar with agile. There are various methodologies. Okay, so Rally is pretty good, and I'll be giving you access. Everyone will be having access to this tool. Make sure you write a test cases. Okay, I'll be explaining everything. Okay, so don't worry about it. Make sure you guys write the test cases. Execute the test cases and open defects. I'll be giving you homework on that. So make sure do that. So we'll be working on Rally tool, and if possible, of course, most probably we will be working on one more tool, that is HPALM, that is Hewlett Packard Application Lifecycle Management. So I'll not be much, I'll be giving you explanation, of course, but I'm not giving homework on that, because I mean, it moving forward, it will, at one point of time it will get updated. I mean, outdated, that tool, because everyone are moving in agile, and that's kind of complicated tool, because not exactly complicated, it has become outdated. So it's my point of view. I've worked like for 5 years, 5 to 7 years of experience, so I know, I mean, that so you use old tools, it feels kind of like burden, using this. So moving forward, you know so I'll be explaining that one. So Rally, of course, Rally tool I'll be explaining. Fifth class, I'll be giving you information about the SharePoint. So I'll be giving you access to the SharePoint. Make sure guys you know um, do the homework. Okay, will be this is more for a lead point of view. If you are going as a lead point of view, of course you'll be having this access. Even if you are not lead, you'll still have you need to upload these documents and download the documents, all this stuff. Next we'll go to the documentation engineering, where you will be having all kinds of documents. You might write, you may write some documents like test cases, test plan, test strategy document. Okay, that's a job of a lead, but still we need to know. So so we'll be working on these documents. And this next we'll be working on various life cycles, SDLC, software life cycle, and then we have like software testing life cycle, then we have bug life cycle. Okay, then I'll be giving introduction on various methodologies in the same class. That will be on 5th. Okay, and then like I'll take whole class for agile methodology. Okay, so I'll be giving you explanation about various what's agile and how do we work on that. That's just make sure you also attend that class and make a we can get an understanding, a better understanding of what is an agile and how we work in that. Okay, that environment. So 7th and 8th class, as I told you, like I'll be giving introduction and HPLM, but I'll not be giving any homework in this. Okay, so if you want to do it, if you are really interested in it, okay, you can work on it. You'll be having, you'll be getting access from. You can request your managers, to get an access on this. Okay, you can work on this, no issues. The 9th class, I'll be giving introduction on QTP, that's Quick Test Professional, and I'll be just giving an introduction. Okay, I'm not going in a complete programming side, the Visual Basic scripting and descriptive programming. No, I'll not be going in that deep, because since it's a one class, I'm just giving an introduction. That's it. I mean, okay, so don't expect a complete automation which should be completed in one day. It's not possible. Okay. So that's an automation actually. This QTP is automation. So as a QA, like I'm explaining everything as a manual QA analyst. It's a manual, no automation in this. Only one class will be having this automation introduction. So if you know, if you, in case if you have something like moving into automation, or if you are interested in it, we can move forward with this QTP. Okay. 10th, so this is something which I introduced a new from last class. This is instead of revision, so since now we will be having recording, so I thought of taking revision. So not taking revision because you can review yourself, right? If you're going to have the videos anyway, you'll be having videos, right? So I have came up with certifications. Okay, so get a certificate. So my point is here in the 10th class, get a certificate. Okay, so there are three, this three companies that offer. It's free. I mean, just take a course, like it's kind of like just takes 1 or 2 days. Sit on a laptop, 8 hours, done. You get a certificate. Let me show you quickly. I have that one. Actually, I have also completed this. So if you are getting a certificate, right? So if you want to get a certificate, like from MBA, that is Microsoft Virtual Academy, you can get this. See, it's like you've got a certificate of completion, and you get like software testing fundamentals. So if you want to get on that, make sure you get it. Okay. So hopefully I'll be giving you homework on this to get a certificate. Or if you want to, if you want to get different. So this is like completely different. Okay. So this is from different solo learn. If you HTML, you have SQL in this, not software testing. Okay, you have SQL, you can go ahead and write an exam, and it just takes kind of 2 days, something like if you sit completely, just get a certificate. It's good to have, because if you put in a resume that you have a certification that okay. So, or let me check if I have any other. So make sure you guys get a certificate. Okay, at the end of the class, now I'm expecting everyone who are interested at least. Okay, if you're not interested, that's a different story, but let me check if I have okay, so I think that I have only 2 certifications, so you can go ahead like this 3. Make sure this sailor you can also do it, but here you have to make it one shot. If you are sitting in exam and writing it, I mean, it's in any system. You don't have to go somewhere or to book a ticket or something like that. No, just in your system, take the exam. That's it. On the spot, you get a certificate. That's it. Okay. So sailor has a little bit, different rules. Like you have like once you attempt an exam, you need to wait for 7 days. So if you are really good at it, you can take it. Otherwise, I'd recommend to get it only from Microsoft or SQL. You have this pretty good, solo learn. You can get it from solo. Okay. So any questions in this syllabus? Okay. So if you guys have no questions, let's get started. Okay, so I'll be taking like 15 to 20 minutes extra. Okay, since I've used up some of them. So is everyone okay? 15 to 20 minutes. I mean, no, not too much. Okay, good. Yeah, G1, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question, sir.
Sure.
So how does this, I didn't understand. So are we receiving the recording of the class, something like that?
Sure, I'll be sending
How
you.
does it work?
Yeah, I'll be sending you recording. I'll be
Okay.
sending you, give me some time, like, before 4 p.m. So you'll be getting a recording and homework or notes or whatever, material. I'll be sending you, okay, before 4 p.m. Okay.
No, that's fine. That's fine. If you are sending,
Yeah.
take your time.
Yeah, I'll be sending you.
So I have one more question. Since you are talking about certification, so
Right.
do we need to have a separate preparation for it?
Not really. You can just sit, it's kind of like sit at home, sit at home, just, there are few videos, watch those videos, answer simple questions, that's it, done. You get a certificate at that time, just in your account.
Got it.
Okay. So I'll,
Got it. Thank you.
yeah, I'll be giving you instructions on that. Okay. So I'll be sending you, email or homeworks. So make sure you get it. So I mean, it's good for you. Okay.
Yeah, sure. That would be great. Thank you.
And most importantly, see, my idea is it's free. Mine is free. So it's kind of like, to start with, you can start with free and later you can go with big certification, ISQB and all those stuff. Okay. But to start with, so that's what my idea is.
Yeah, sure. It's a good idea.
Okay. Any more questions?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. So, okay, sure. Yeah. So if you have someone class, I'll be putting recording so that you'll get recording. So, you can check the recording later. Okay. So maybe you'll not miss too much. Only just. Okay. So let's start with various types of testing. Okay. As a QA, you need to know various types of testing. So there are plenty of testing, and they keep getting updated, and they keep you know they keep coming in, new things keep on coming. So these are the like basic types of testing. Let's start with black box testing. Okay, so in this black box testing, okay, and this internal system, okay, system design is not considered, and this is black box testing is done by the QA. So let's be like short and sweet. So what does that black box testing means? Black box testing is a high level testing. Okay, black box testing is a high level testing done by the testers, not by the programmers. Okay, this is done by the testers and not by the programmers. Okay, so see this, since this black box is, see why I'm saying like high level, right? Because it's done by the team level, not by individual level. So let's say let's say your manager asks, okay, did you complete black box testing? So that's not a valid question, because you cannot say that you completed black box, because it's team level, because 3 4 people, or whole two teams, three teams, said okay, yeah, yeah, we have completed. Why? Because it includes various, there are sub parts in this black box. There's like system testing, functional testing. So those are two three things combined to form a black box system. So that's why I said like high level testing. Okay, so black box testing is a high level testing done by the testers and not by the programmers. And tests are based on requirements and functionality. Okay, so we'll go more detail on this one. Okay, so for now you can understand that black box testing is a high level testing done by the testers and not by the programmers, and it's based on requirements and functionality. Okay, so let's we will go detail on this. So let me give an example. Okay, so see, since black box testing is combination of various types of testing, so let's say you're trying to test an application. Okay, so okay, let's say if you are testing here, you know you might test anything like edit box. This is like a kind of edit box, right? Right, because you can write, you can type anything. And this images, okay, these buttons, these are the buttons, right? These are it's okay. So I don't know what this button called. I named it like random rolling down button, because whenever I hover my mouse, it rolls down. So that's a that's also a button, right? And then it is edit box, and then like URLs. Okay, so these are all these are the functionalities. What I'm saying is these are all functionalities. Okay, this is the functionalities of an application. So basically application are two types: web application, client application. In whole of my class I'll be only discussing about the web applications. Okay, so client application is similar. Whenever it's installed in a system, it's called client application. That's it. Okay, so these are the functionalities of a web application. Okay, this edit box, the search button, since this button is not working because we have not typed anything. And moreover, these days you don't even require this button. Whatever you type, it shows up. That's fast. You don't even need this button anymore. Maybe moving forward, Google will try to eliminate those buttons. Okay, and these apps. So these are the functionalities. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is this is the functionalities of an application. Okay, and requirements are business requirements. So it can be any functional requirements that are provided as per the clients, whatever the client wants to know. Those are the requirements. We'll be having the screenshots or the information regarding that application. Okay, so that's called black box testing. Any questions in black box testing? So black box testing is a high level testing done by the testers and not by the programmers, and it is done based on requirements and functionality. That's it. Okay, let's go to the white box testing. Okay, this testing is done by the programmers. So that's a very good question. Actually, why it had why it has named as black box and not actually I'm not exactly sure because no one erased. Let's see. We check it out right now. So I don't think anyone knows about this. It's only definition. I don't think if they have some history on this, why this named as black box and why it not some other box. Okay, so I don't think anyone knows about this. So basically it's a behavior testing. Okay, so basically it's a behavior testing, so that's like, they kind of named it, right? Yeah, because we don't know what is inside that. Okay, that's, that you can give a name that way. Okay, so that's why, it's called black box testing. Okay, okay, so that's black box testing, and then you have like white box testing. In this scenario, this is done by the programmers and not by the testers. Okay, why? Because whole internal logic and application of code should be known. Okay, so, and this is also called as glass box testing. Okay, it's called glass box testing, and internal knowledge of code working should be known for this type of testing. Okay, okay, good. So that is called white box testing. Let's take an example here. Okay, let's go to our, let's go to, google.com, or we'll take Manu. Okay, so here we have this. So here, what is it looks like? Okay, this is for a user, for a customer, whoever wants to do, file, search, search Google, or want to purchase something. Okay, this is what looks like. But at the, you know back end process, like, completely back end, we will see how does it looks like. So let's go here. Okay, good. So this is how, so here, what this is the, like, developer, point of view to look at the code. So just because the google.com is looks so simple doesn't mean like at backend it is very simple. Backend is pretty much complicated. You can see here. Okay, so that, you might use so many languages here. Not only this, you see, if you can look at here, you use HTML. Now this HTML5 has come up, right? HTML5. Then you have like Java, JavaScript. Here you have the use this script, and then you have like Ajax. Okay, now if you have videos, now you also have the Flash player there. So many things are integrated in one application. See this? So this is the job of a programmer. So this is what, how the black box testing. Okay, again, I'm sorry, white box testing is a high level testing done by the programmers. What will be they doing? So this is what they will be doing. Okay, they will be looking into this code and troubleshooting that code. So whatever the issue in the code, so let's say they have found an issue. See, whenever I see how I hover this mouse over this particular code, it shows, okay, which, uh, which functionality it is getting affected, which functionality of an application it is getting affected, and it's showing up. Okay, so this is a job completely, job of a developer point of view, not a tester. Tester won't, normally. Okay, okay, as a tester you might also be doing this at some point, but as a, normal, you know this is a job of a developer. And look this and troubleshoot. Okay, so this is the issue, troubleshoot this issue. Okay, so this is kind of white box testing. Okay, not exactly white box testing. Okay, part in, see, again, it's a part in a white box system. Okay, so any questions in this? So okay, so actually I am supposed to explain one more in this before going to the next testing. Okay, so whenever you see here is the thing, right? So when I am showing this, let's see, let's go back to here. So here, whatever the developer guys are doing, right? So there are three environments. Okay, there are three environments. One is development environment, where developer does this work. Okay, whatever I'm trying to show you here, that work is done in the development environment. Okay, then there is a one more environment called QA environment, which which you will be testing. As a tester, you'll be testing every functionality, every feature of it, whatever defects, fixed defects and so on. Okay, as a tester, you'll be working on QA environment. And there is one more thing called production environment. Production environment is something which nobody touches. No developer, no tester. Okay, so it's it's like different thing, because that is somewhere where user actually does the work. Okay, so whenever you're trying to search, that means everything goes into production environment. Okay, nobody so okay, they will be having access to production environment. Sometimes they manipulate the production environment and so on, but we'll be mostly working in QA environment. Okay, so this is whatever the work developer does is dev environment. okay, or development environment. Okay, so that's a small concept. Any questions in white box testing? So let's move to the next one. Unit testing. Okay, so this unit testing is also done by the programmers, okay, and not by the testers. Okay, and let's say, and this is little bit specific. Okay, so they have come up with a specific. You have this white box testing, right? So that is a little high level. So that that includes SIT, unit testing, and so on. Unit testing has now become specific in that white box testing. Okay, so let's see here. Testing in individual software components or modules, typically done by the programmers, and see, make sure you know this. This is done by the programmers and not by the testers, because it requires detailed knowledge of internal program design and the code. See, let's get example back here. So here, okay, so here we have this code, right? Unit testing means in that code you have so many loops. You see this? So many loops. So maybe some unit means a small unit of a program. Okay, small loop or small, small. You are trying to test it. So this is the developer who will be testing it, because he is testing the code, not the features and functionalities of an application. He is not bothered about the features and functionalities. He is bothered about the code. He is trying to test this code, that is this code is as per the requirement. Okay, so that kind of testing is called unit testing, right? Any questions on this unit testing? So unit testing is to test a specific module in the code. Since this requires detailed knowledge and lot of information about the code, how the how it's doing. So so that's the reason this is done by the developers and not by the testers. Okay. Okay. So we may require developing test driver modules and test harness. Yeah, and that's like based on the requirements of the whatever the requirement based on the business requirements. So they will be testing it. So yeah, just one one point just want you to understand. So even if see there are developer and testers, okay, even the developers, let's say even developer does the testing. Okay, developer does the testing and testers don't do development. Okay, so don't worry about it. Testers only do testing. Developers, even if the developers do the testing, they will be doing testing as a business point of view. That means whatever the requirement is, they will be testing. That's it. They're not bothered anything else. They're bothered about the code. Is my code right? Good. That's my job. That's it. If anything else, not my job. I'll not worry about it. So that's the developer point of view. Okay. They will be doing as a business point of view. Okay. And the testers will be testing as a user point of view. That means he'll not worry about the code, right? So he will not worry about the code. He'll be worrying about the features and functionalities. Okay, is this functionality there? Why this button is there? Why not it's somewhere else? So all those things. Okay, you have requirements. Later we'll get many more questions. Okay, why it's like that and why it should not be there. Okay, that kind of thing. So always developer, even if the developer does the testing, he will be doing as a business point of view. Okay, and he's bothered about the code. He's not bothered about anything else. He's bothered about code. My code is good, I'm good. But testers, they do the testing as a user point of view. So now as a user, how does the user feel? How is the look and feel? User is comfortable. Is it friendly application? User friendly application. So all those things. Okay, so that's about is developer and testers. And let's go to the next topic. Okay, before incremental integration, right? Just we'll go, so that's a little bit 2 steps ahead. We'll go a little bit, back. Functional testing. Let's, go to the functional testing. So this type of testing, okay, is mostly focused in output, okay, as per the requirement or not. Okay, so black box. So this is a subtype of a black box. Okay, whenever you're saying black box testing, right? This is Functional testing is a part of the black box. So that's the reason I told, right? Black box is a high level testing because it includes too many parts. Okay, functional testing, and we might also have non-functional testing. Okay, performance testing, so on. Okay, so functional testing is specific. Here we are talking about specific, but black box is very very high level. Okay, functional testing. Functional testing is then to test the functionality and features of an application. What is functional testing? To test an functionality and features of an application. Okay, let's take an example here. So I'll be detailing this functional testing, so you might understand a little bit. So as you've seen here, right? So this is edit box. Okay, whatever you want to call edit box. Not exactly text box. I don't want to call it a text box because you can also put numbers, right? So even numbers are acceptable. Alphanumeric. Okay. So I mean, if you have better name, you can call that. This is like edit box, and this is buttons. Of course, so they are coded in such a way that this button should not work when you have nothing here. Okay, so it's almost useless in this. Okay. And then this rolling down, random rolling down button. Sometimes it comes randomly. So these are what are these? These are the functionalities of an application. Okay, URL. So these are the URL. Okay, images and these apps, Google apps. Okay, so this is kind of functionality, right? This is a functionality. Okay, and this notification. So you see this when you click this application is moved left side. You see this? Click on this, and suddenly this sidebar showed up. I'm sorry, scroll bar showed up, and suddenly if I click on this, it moved. So that might be a feature. Okay, so that might be a feature in an application, the business requirement. That might be a business requirement saying that when I click on this notification button, the application should move the left side, and there should there is a scroll down button, scroll bar. Okay, so that might be a feature. Okay, so let's go to more specific in this. Now let's go to Amazon.com. So those are what I'm trying to say is those are the functionalities. So whatever you click on that, whatever you see on this images, these are the functionality. You see this? So this images URL is in this page. So that's the functionality. Okay, let's go to here. So here this is Amazon. So this Amazon is like pretty complicated website. This has videos. This is URLs, images with URLs, so on. Let's say when I click on departments, see you see this, whenever you click on departments, the the screen at the back becomes it's like light is switched off, kind of see this again, it's bright, the brightness changes. Okay, so that is an application, that is a business requirement. So that is a business requirement from Amazon, that whenever you hover your mouse over department section, the brightness of the application is switched off. Right? Does it make sense? So that is a functionality. That is also, I'm saying, I'm giving an example. It's not necessary that's the only one. Giving you an example. Everything is a functionality in an application. Okay, so that's also an functionality, a feature. Okay, that might be a feature that whenever you hover your mouse to departments, suddenly the brightness of an application is switched off. Okay, now whenever I hover this mouse over this, a new tab shows up. Again it takes half of the page. Okay, to see what are these. Okay, now whenever I hover this mouse, this tab keeps on changing, right? So those are the features, new features and functionalities of an application. So as a tester, you will be testing this, right? So that is called functional testing. Any questions in this? So to test an functionality of an application is called functional testing. And what does the functional testing includes? It can include anything like text box, edit box, okay, scroll down bar, buttons, okay, URLs, images, so on. That's called functional testing. Okay, so let's move to the oops, sorry. So let's move to the before. Once you if you have understood this functional testing. So yeah, somebody asked, right, what do you mean by like high level testing? So see the term what I meant by high level is means that includes subparts or it contains more than one module or more than two modules, bunch of modules, and we are not talking about that. So that's called high level. Okay, it's not necessary like it is divided into subparts. No, I'm not saying like it is divided into three parts. It's not necessary it has to be divided, but it includes. Okay, it includes. That's called high level. Why? Because that term is little bit complicated, because in future they might add a new part in that, so that that will include that one. So that's the reason, like high level. High level in sense it includes more than two modules, more than three modules. That's why it's called high level. And you cannot, you cannot say it is completed once all the modules are completed inside it. Make sense? You cannot, tell that black box testing is done before functional testing is done. Once functional testing, integration testing is done, then you will say black box testing is done. Okay. So just because you have completed functional testing doesn't mean that black box testing is completed. That's what I mean. So that's why I meant like high level. Okay. Because it includes various subparts. Okay. Does it make sense? Okay. So let's move to the next topic, integration testing. Okay. So everyone understood this functional testing, right? So that's more important because as a QA, you'll be doing functional testing, right? Okay. So integration testing, testing of integrated modules to verify the combined functionality of an integration. Okay, modules are to be very so what happens, right? All the so let's say let's take an example here. Okay, let's be very clear on this. So integration testing, the name itself names says, right, integrated modules. You have various modules. Okay, you have various modules. Okay, you are integrating into one application. Okay, you are integrating into one application. That's called integration testing. Okay, so testing of integrated modules to verify the combined functionality after integration. Let's say take here example. So google.com, right? Let's go to google.com. Here you have this Google Apps. When you click this, so you have various features, right? YouTube, okay, Google Plus, shopping, maps, Google Drive, Gmail, everything. So all these are integrated. So these are all like different domains or subdomains. Okay, you have these URLs, right? Completely different URLs. Might be different URLs. It might be subdomain URLs or YouTube. YouTube is a completely different domain altogether. Gmail is completely different domain of Google.com. So they have integrated into one application. Okay, you might tell to me saying that, hey, what's the big deal in this, put that name here and that's it. That's not called integration. You might say that, but to do that it requires considerable amount of work. Okay, because the reason, right, since google.com is one application which is prepared with various codes, okay, various Java, HTML, Ajax. You do a completely different thing. You cannot integrate just to just put that URL, put it here, and just okay. It might not be that simple to do that because two different codes, two different environments, two different people working together. Okay, not two different people, it's like completely different teams together. Okay, that team is different, this team is different. Okay, these two guys has to work together to, you know, integrate that one small thing into this, right? So that's why it's called, you know, integration. So you are integrating two different modules into one. It's called integration. Does it make sense? So better, oh, one more better example on this, right? Um, so you can watch, you know, you can watch an YouTube video in your email itself. Do you know that? So once somebody sends an URL into email, right? You can watch it. So that means they have integrated that, only just putting that URL into the email, you know, let's say Google, you know, Gmail. They just put that some URL into that and send in. You can watch the whole video in the email itself. So that is then a better example of integration. That means those guys have integrated a whole email, a whole YouTube in an email. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. So that is, you know, integration. So to test that is called integration testing. Okay, so let's go back to our definition. To testing an integrated modules to verify the combined functionality after integration is called integration testing. Okay, because the reason, right? Because, you know, that is a different code and this is a different code, and you are trying to, you know, put that same thing into one. That requires considerable amount of time, considerable amount of work. Okay, so all those things. So you need to do that, because the reason why you need this testing, because while integrating you want to make sure that because of that integration some other code doesn't break up, and if that some other functionality gets, you know, gets broken, right, you need to fix that. You need to identify that issue and, you know, fix that issue. So that's the reason you need integration testing, and this is done by the testers. Okay, some places they use testers, some places they use programmers, mostly testers. Okay, so that's called integration testing. So let's move to the next one. Incremental integration testing. So here we have seen this integration testing, right? When you click on this Google Apps, you know, there are so many apps that are integrated into one application. You see this only one application, right? You're not actually in, see the reason why I'm saying this one application, because you're not, you can see this apps, you know, instead of navigating that URL, the same page you can see that. That's why, you know, you can say this is integrated. Okay, now incremental integration testing, that means in the name itself, right? Increment, that means you keep on getting increasing. So let's say an example here. If you click on more, new, you know, more 10 apps showing up. Okay, but I had like 3, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 apps here, right? So you click on more apps shown up, even more, completely new, all new. So this is called incremental integration testing. That means you keep on increasing one by one, you know, keep on having new features, new modules, you know, new code, everything, keep on adding it. That's called incremental, right? So that's called incremental integration testing. Let's go back to the definition. Bottom up approach for testing, that is called continuous testing of an application as a new functionality is added. See, continuous testing of an application as a new functionality is added is called incremental integration testing. Any questions in this? Let's move to the next slide. Okay, so system testing. So system testing, right? The name itself, it's system. Like, you know, you have this, you know, system which can be any operating system. It can be Linux, it can be Unix, it can be, you know, Mac. Okay, Mac is completely different OS, and then you might have Windows that might, you know, have, you know, Windows 10 or something. So it's, this is like, you know, it is also high level. What I want to say is that system testing is also a high level testing. Why? Again, because see, let's say let's take one more, no, let's be more detailed in this. Let's say you have this again system, you have system and you have installed Windows and Windows 10. Again, you have various apps, various applications in that, you know, submodules. Okay, so all those things, and it's not one or two applications installed in system, right? System is like you have pretty, you know, you have program files, you have like system files, you have so many things. Okay, so that's why it's a like that's why I want to say is like in a high level testing. Why? Because it includes so many things to be tested, applications, you know, program applications, DLL files, you know, everything. So that's why entire system is tested as per the requirements. Again, it's as per the requirements. If if the requirement says you have to do that, then you have to do that. Okay, so yeah, so here you see this black box testing is based on overall. So you know this system testing comes under one of the black box system. Okay, so system testing is like entire system that is tested as per the requirements. That's called system testing. So whatever that system contains, whatever install. So whenever you system you take it system testing, right? That means that applications should be installed. So it comes. This is more for a client application testing, client applications. So what we have discussed so far is web application. The difference between the client and web application is client application you need to install in your system, right? Or whatever you need to install, like let's say Outlook, you want to install in your system. Okay, that's a web application to Outlook. It's a different story. But you need to install. So that's called client. Okay. Then you have like browser. Browser need to install first, right? To view any web page, you need to install. So first you need to get the client application of Chrome. Let's say Chrome. You are using Chrome. So that's a client application, and that in that you are using putting your URL and testing it, the web application. So that's the difference. Difference is web application is always used on the browser. Client application mostly will be used on a system. Okay, so this system testing is implies more of a client applications. Okay, let's go to the next topic, end-to-end testing. Okay, in this end-to-end testing, right? So this name itself says from one end to another end. So end-to-end testing is pretty broad term. So let's be a little bit specific as a QA point of view. So I want to go as a QA point of view, because if you are considering as a ETL point of view, right? Because see, if you are considering end-to-end testing as a ETL, because ETL also includes QA at one point. Okay, so ETL also includes QA at one point. So let's not worry about it, because it has like end-to-end testing for a ETL point of view includes a lot of things like source testing, target testing, stage testing. You completed a staging area, and then you have like jobs. You are using some automated jobs. Have you done with the automated jobs? Dependency of the jobs is done. Then you have load testing, so everything. So that includes but as a QA point of view, end-to-end testing means you have completed all testing like functional testing, integration testing, incremental integration testing. Okay, and the system testing, the performance testing, all those is completed, then you call it end-to-end testing, right? That's the name itself. That means from start to end. Okay, so that's called end-to-end, from one end to another end. Okay, so that's called end-to-end testing. Let's see here the definition. Okay, similar to involves testing of complete application environment, the situation that mimics real world. Okay, interacting with a database using network communications, or interacting with other hardware application systems if appropriate. That means complete end-to-end of an application. Complete application. So when you have an application, that means you have a database. When you have a database, of course, there is a lot of ETL work. When you have ETL work, and of course, data warehousing and all those things comes into the picture. So that all testing should be completed, then you say that end-to-end testing is done. So again, this is high level, again high level testing, because no one will, your boss won't come saying that, okay, have you done, if you completed end-to-end testing? So even if they say, right, you need to be more, be good to answer those questions, like, so since end-to-end testing is a high level testing, and it's not done by the individual level, it is done by the team level. So we are working as, like, we have like 3 to 4 teams, or like 6 teams or whatever, and all those teams have completed their testing, hence we can say the end-to-end testing is done. Okay, so that's how you need to answer it, if someone asks this question, right? Okay, so let's move to the next topic. So any questions so far? So I'll be giving you slides by today. So you might you can look through the slides. Okay. So let's move to the next topic. Okay, there's sanity testing. Before sanity, let's go to the smoke testing. So it's not here. I'm just saying, okay, it's not here actually. Smoke testing. So, we perform smoke testing because to test, to test the application is testable or not. Why you do smoke testing? To test an application is testable or not. Because we don't want bugs. So let's take an example here. Let's say your dev guy, development has completed its development and move that code into QA environment and says, okay, hey, start your testing. So you cannot just go ahead and start functional testing. First you need to perform smoke testing. Okay, not always those projects have the smoke testing, but as a general. Okay, that means if your smoke testing is kind of random testing. So you test this URL, okay, this button. So suddenly some issue shows up, okay, and this button is not working. You report that issue immediately and saying that smoke testing is failed. That means if the smoke testing itself is failed, you cannot proceed with any other testing. That means everything is blocked. Because your smoke testing is failed, you cannot move to functional testing, performance testing. No, you cannot do that, because you are not trying to test an application, but to trying to test an application is testable or not. Okay, so that's smoke testing. Because the difference between the functional testing and smoke testing or any other testing is, you don't have test cases for smoke testing. For functional testing you do. Okay, you have test cases and you have to execute as per the procedures and all the stuff. But smoke testing is just random testing. You don't have test cases. So smoke testing doesn't last for like 2 to 4 hours. That's it. I mean, you don't take more time. 2 to 4 hours. That's it, done. Or rather less than that. But functional testing you will take some time, because you need to write a test cases. Okay, that's not about writing. You have to execute the test cases. If there is a defect, you need to report those defects, so on. So that's the difference between smoke testing and functional testing. You don't have test cases in smoke testing. Okay, and you want to see that is the application testable or not. That's called smoke testing. Okay, so let's go to the sanity testing. Sanity testing. Okay, so here what we are trying to test is, let's say they have released a new version of a software, new version. Okay, there are two versions, the first version and second version. First version you performed and you found some issues. Okay, and you found and you reported that issue, and there's a fixed, and it is fixed. Okay, now they send back to you to test it again. That's called sanity testing. That means you're performing the same application with a different version. Okay, you're performing with the same application, different version in sense, I mean, different. Okay, different code. Okay, so the code might been changed little bit, but not too much. Okay, the same code actually going to be the same code, just from they have changed some parts, some module. That's it. Okay, so that's called sanity testing. So let's see, testing to determine if new software version is performing well to accept major testing effort. Okay, so uh, let's take an example here. Let's say you were testing this, you know, in Firefox. Okay, you were testing some application in the Firefox. Okay, okay, good. Now you are testing some application, and suddenly they released a new version. Okay, that means 49.0.1. See, that means they have released like 49, versions of this. So let's say you have tested in 48th version. So okay, and then you tested again a different version, 49th version. So that's called sanity testing. Okay. Any questions? Let's move to the next topic, regression testing. Okay, so testing, the application as a whole, modification, okay, modular functionality. So normally this regression testing is done with the automation tool, using an automation. Very few companies prefer is manual. So all these we have discussed, all this testing we have discussed in manual point of view. That means you will be viewing that application and testing it each and every functionality. In regression testing, you are not viewing it, it's coded, just like for example QTP or UFT, Unified Functional Testing, or Selenium. Okay, so those kind of things are comes under regression testing. Let's say, why do we need this regression testing when you have done with the manual testing? Anyone knows? Why do we need regression testing when we have completed manual testing? Does anyone knows? So there are plenty of reasons, not just one or two. So let's take an example here. Okay, in the regression testing, let's say you have completed your manual testing. Okay, you're done, and in 2 weeks that code goes into production, and application will be ready in let's say 2 to 3 weeks. But your job is done. You are not going to test again because you have completed. The defects are fixed, and it's good. Okay, now suddenly development guy, that guy who were working with the dev guys, that guy came to you, said that, hey, there was some issue in the code. There's some issue in the code, and we development guys have taken care of it. um, we fixed that issue, and it's like it's done. Can you start testing? Okay, so I'll be like, are you kidding me? In 2 weeks this application is going to production, and we have completed our test cases. We have written our test cases, we have completed our test cases, and we have completed our testing of manual testing, and now you are saying that you have fixed some issue. Because of that issue, now I have to test a whole application that will take 2 weeks to complete. Now you are saying now to test the whole application. So that's not possible. Okay, so that's not possible to test again, because that is why, because it's a redundant. You don't want to do double work, right? It's a double work. You already completed, and just because the developer guy has some issue in the code, and because he fixed that issue or screwed up, we don't know, and he wants us to test that. It's not possible. That's the reason you go to the regression testing, and you say that, okay, hey, we have done our testing, we have done our job. Now it's the regression testing team, so that will be a different team. We'll be taking care of that and saying that, hey, we have completed everything. As a manually, please continue with automated testing. So this automation testing is now does the whole work what you have done. You know uh, that using, okay, they have automation scripts that they run the scripts and they test it again. So that will be faster. That is the faster, and okay, it might not be accurate what we'll be doing. See, as personally, I have done I've done testing on my own. Personally, I find like manual testing to be more, you know, accurate. Why? Because I see each and every feature. But as automation, to see each and every feature, you have to code for each and every feature, and that takes either time or takes pretty good resource to do that. Okay, so that's the reason you prefer regression testing. So regression testing. So that's one example. Just don't stick to that example. One more example. Let's take one more example. Okay, one more better example. Let's say I have designed this code, google.com. Okay, and okay, YouTube. Okay, let's say Gmail. Okay, so they have designed two. Now they have two applications. One is google.com and one is gmail.com. Right. Now they have integrated this into one application, right? Then now google.com shows up in Gmail. So they have integrated. Let's say google.com is a new code, Gmail is an old code. Now they have, integrated that old code with the new code. Now they want to test that whole application again, both google.com as well as Gmail. Because of that integration, something else doesn't broke up, right? So now they want to say that okay, start testing, integration testing. But we have already completed this testing of google.com. We cannot do any more integration testing, right? We have already integrated and we have already tested that. Okay, we have completed integration testing. We cannot do any more testing in that. So that's the reason you need regression testing. Okay, after completing everything, the integration testing we have completed, incremental integration also completed. Now they suddenly added new feature and incremented. Okay, they incremented the new code, some new code they have added. Now they want to test it. So that goes to the regression testing. Okay, so that's another reason. Any other reason you get into? Do you know any other reason? So this is all like that's the reason you need to have regression testing. So what is regression testing? So testing an application as a whole. Okay, after modification of any module or functionality. So one of the best example is like what I told you, right? Dev guy shows up saying that hey, I have modified the code. Start testing again. So his job is only to say, right? He'll say whatever he wants. So he said okay, start testing. So now you cannot, okay, just because he said start testing, that doesn't mean like you can go ahead and start testing. That's not possible. You have already completed your testing. You have signed off. Okay, you have like completed all the 20, 30 test cases and you are done with your work. Now somebody else comes up and shows saying that hey, start testing. No. Okay, so work should flow from your lead to you, not for development to you. You don't take orders from developers. You take orders from your manager, from your boss. If your boss says okay, then only you need to do it, not just because someone else said. Just keep in mind. Okay, so just because somebody else says, you need to report that. Okay, you need to tell your lead saying that hey, developer has came there. He today stopped by at my desk and saying that he want to test the application. So he will take care of it, or report to your manager. If you are good rapport with your manager, report to that, saying that hey, since we have completed our testing, he said like we will start testing. Okay, so that's the one of the reason for doing regression testing. I mean, there are plenty of reasons. Two of them I've given you example. Okay, so normally automation tool, and you want to also, some companies also want to retest it because they don't want to trust everyone, right? They don't want to trust, so they give it, automation team to work. So mostly automation is more preferred, right? So moving forward, everyone will be moving to automation. So that's the reason we need a regression testing. Okay, so we'll stop here. It's already taking like 10 minutes. Okay, so any questions overall from these testings? Tomorrow I'll complete this. It will be simple. Tomorrow will be simple, and we'll go to a new topic. Any questions? So if no one has any, okay. Okay, so if no one has any questions, can we close this class for today? So I'll be giving you slides. Go through it. If you have questions, you can reach me through email, or you can call me. Okay, just preferably email me, so that if you see that our timings match, you can call me. Okay. Okay. Thank you guys.